Hey guys, and welcome back to a brand new video and the start of Season 7 of my F1 2018 career mode. Today, we are here for the Australian Grand Prix, round 1 of the season, and as you guys may or may not know from watching the end of the last episode, we signed a contract with Ferrari. Now, a small disclaimer, and I want to make an explanation here. A lot of guys are wondering, how come I left McLaren, after saying I was going to build them up and, try and win the championship. Now, the reason being is because I wanted to do 2 seasons with McLaren and 1 with Ferrari. I was always going to do 1 season with Ferrari in this year's game. The reason I changed my mind is because in that time, F1 2019 got announced and it's coming out in June. So my plans kind of got messed up a little bit, and I've had to bring this forward by a season because I haven't got enough time to do 2 more seasons of career mode on this year's game. So hopefully you guys can understand that, and we can now focus on the video. Now, first of all, weather conditions, no rain expected this weekend, which is great, and we're going to get a nice dry weekend. Along with that, we've got a triple upgrade on the car, 1 for the durability, 1 for the chassis, and 1 for the engine, more specifically the fuel consumption. However, over the winter, it's not been a good winter for Ferrari. I was kind of banking and hoping that when I signed the contract, they would do good over the winter, and that's not been the case. They've dropped down a little bit in the pecking order, and you've quite clearly got Sauber at the top, then you've got the midfield pack, and then you've got the lower end team. So Sauber at the minute, they've brought incredible upgrades. They've been the most improved team along with Force India, I think, they're over the winter, and they've looked incredibly strong with the upgrades they've brought, and they're going to be even stronger this season going into the first race here at Australia. So hopefully we can try and turn that around as the season progresses. As it stands, we are the number 2 driver. I've got a few ideas in terms of what I want to do for R&D and in terms of how the season progresses. Maybe try something different, and there's a few options. I'll talk about that later on in the video towards the end in terms of what my plan is for R&D this season, because I think it could be quite interesting, and I want to try and make things a bit more tasty. Now, obviously, the first 4 races are quite tricky because there's 2 good ones and 2 bad ones. This and China being the good ones, Bahrain and Baku being the bad ones, because the AI are so strong around those 2 tracks. So we need to try and capitalise here and make this count. So here we are, straight away in qualifying, and this was my first run in the session, and I kind of hit traffic here with Grosjean just, pretty much getting in the way. Blue flag, and he decided to get out of the way right on the apex, which was not ideal. We're now going to ride on board though for my best lap of the qualifying session here at Albert Park, and straight away, as you can see, for turn 1 we want to go down to 5th gear, really attack the inside curb here and let the car run out wide through the exit as we go flat out through turn 2. Now down towards turn 3 you want to kind of brake as the boarding on the left disappears, and then you want to go down to 2nd gear to really get the rotation, then a short squat on the throttle through turn 4. You want to tap that inside curb, let the car run wide flat out through 5, and sector 1 is in the books. As we now go into a bit of a right-left chicane here, it's all about really attacking that inside curb to open up the corner as much as possible, and so far so good as we get nice clean traction, and now racing down towards this very tricky corner. It's kind of off camber, and you don't want to take too much curb, otherwise you are going to lose the back end. It's critical that you get good traction though on the exit to maximise the straight line speed through here, and now we go into the 2 best corners of the circuit here. Absolute full commitment as you heard, and really carrying the speed through the chicane there as we now go into the final sector and the final few corners, which pretty much consists of 90-degree rights and lefts, and so far so good. A little bit deep on the brakes, but we do pull it back, and now the final 2 corners here. Try and brake as late as you can here. I go a little bit too late and miss my apex, go a little bit wide on lock up. I try to push the limit too much, and then trying to carry the speed through the final corner, running onto the curb. DRS open. We run out of DRS as well a little bit early. I didn't really manage it that well, but that was my best lap in the session, and we do go P5 at the time, 1.4 off of Charles Leclerc, but there's a massive midfield battle. If you exclude the Saubers after that, it's very close, and on my final run I was actually up until this point. The lap was really good, but then I threw it away through the chicane. I didn't have a good chicane, it was very scruffy, and then again through the final few corners now, as you can see here, I run a little bit deep, get onto the grass, lose the back end on my final run, and it was just a scruffy second half of the lap. It was a really strong opening start, and I made my mistake at this corner last time round, so I knew there was time to gain, and you can see for the final corner again I gained more time, and then we actually didn't run out of ERS this time. I managed it better, and we would have improved I think by about 3 or 4 tenths of a second if I'd got the perfect lap in. I think there was about 4 tenths in it if I'd got a perfect lap, and that could have made a huge difference to our grid position, because we could have jumped like into the top 6 potentially, but with that being said, our second run was the best one. We didn't improve, therefore we actually got pipped and knocked out the top 10, and we actually finished P12 in qualifying. Not terrible though, because we are going to have the free choice of tire, which is a good thing, and hopefully we can try and cause cause some trouble tomorrow in the race by being on a bit of a different strategy in terms of tyres. Also, you've got both Saubers there leading the way, very dominant from Charles Leclerc. Then you've got the McLarens doing well in 3rd and 4th. And then Sainz doing really well for P5 there, ahead of Ricciardo. And then my teammate Sebastian Vettel, P7 in the other Ferrari. And then you've got Grosjean, Perez and Verstappen rounding out the top 10. But with that being said, we start the race tomorrow from P12 for the opener in Season 7 here in Melbourne, Australia. So without any further ado, let's just jump into it and let's see how the race gets underway here for round 1. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we can try and score some decent points on our Ferrari debut. Let's get into it.
New drivers, new cars and a new Formula One season. But it's the same Albert Park that we've come to know and love for more than 2 decades now that hosts the first round of a 21 race championship, taking us from here in Melbourne, Australia, across the globe before we eventually reach the season finale at Yas Marina Circuit in Abu Dhabi. So here we are at Albert Park Circuit. 3.3 miles of public roads, closed for the weekend of course, make for a bumpy surface with little undulation. There are 16 corners around the lake with the best passing opportunities coming at turn 1 and turn 3. I'm joined today in the commentary box, as I will be throughout this season, by a great racing driver, former F1 competitor, and who was world champion once upon a time as well, and an all-round top chap. It's the one and only Anthony Davidson. And tell me, here we are, first Grand Prix of the season, the first time racing these cars. So what are the big questions that need to be answered here, in your view?
First of all, Crofty, and thanks for the glowing introduction. I just want to say it's a real privilege to be here, and I can't wait to see what this competitive field has in store for us this season. Now, to answer your question, obviously there's the question of performance in race trim, but really this is going to be all about reliability. It's the first Grand Prix of the season, don't forget. You're pushing all your new components to their limits. Formula One cars are full of very sophisticated but also very sensitive technology. So the most important thing today is to get to the end of the race, keep everything in good condition and try to stay out of trouble while you're at it.
So before the off, let's remind ourselves of yesterday's qualifying session with a look at the starting grid. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday puts him on pole, with Marcus Ericsson alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Alonso, Van Dorn, Carlos Sainz and Ricciardo, Vettel, Grosjean, Perez and Max Verstappen, Ocon, Martinez, Kevin Magnussen and Hamilton, Bottas, Hartley, Nico Hülkenberg and Lance Stroll. Sirotkin and Pierre Gasly rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Right, here we are then on the grid for race 1 of season 7. Let's see how this goes. It's the Australian Grand Prix here at Melbourne, and hopefully we can have a good opening race. Qualifying wasn't great, a very bumpy session, and it's annoying because I think P5 was possible, as hard as P5 on the grid, and instead we're in P12. The good news is we are going to have the free tyre choice, and I do have good pace, and I think my race pace is better than my qualifying pace, so I do feel confident. I think strategy is going to play a big part in this race. You can do the one stop with the ultras straight onto the soft, and it's quite a long way to go, so we're going to be a lot more comfortable on the super soft. It's important that we get the tyre working early on and hopefully find the pace, you know, in and around lap 3, 4, 5, in that kind of region. We need to start picking up the pace and making some moves. But in terms of the race strategy, super softs to start off with, and then over onto the softs to end the race pretty much. I was thinking of starting on the soft, but I don't want to be too slow in and around the ultra soft runners in the top 10. Fuel wise, we are 2 laps over and a little bit more than what I'd usually run because I'm going to try and fight my way through the field. Now, no rain expected. It's a pretty simple one-stop strategy, so let's just jump into it and let's see how the race goes. And fingers crossed we can score a decent result on the opener. My target this race is P4 or P5, more or less. Depends on Van Dorn's pace, realistically. So let's see how it goes. And it's time for the opening race of Season 7 for the Australian Grand Prix. Right, here we go. We're going to get ready for the 5 red lights. Down, under. The lights are on. Revs in the sweet spot. The lights are now off. And away we go. Not the best start, quite a bit of wheel spin there. We're going to have to just cover the inside for now. As we race down towards turn 1, I'm going to go late on the brakes, try and recover that position. Magnussen there trying to get past me in the Haas. We're going to have to go the long way round here. A little bit of bumping with the Haas. We're going to use overtake to try and hold on to the inside line. Oh, this is close. Almost hit the back of Ocon there, but we just managed to retract our nose and not hit the back of him. A little bit of contact in front there, a little bit of side-by-side action, as I can feel some understeer early on. That's one thing I can feel about this car already. There's a lot of understeer in this car, so It's something we need to work on the upgrades, also on the setup as well. I'm actually going to already request a front wing change. I forgot to do that for the start of the race. I'm going to do it now for the pit stops. So let's see how it goes. Oh my god, that was so close to Ocon. Their yellow flag is all kicking off in front of us here. I'm not sure what the hell was happening, but everyone keeps brake checking, and we got a safety car deployed. Ooh, okay, that's an interesting one. Safety car already. 2 cars are out, so we'll find out soon who they are, but that's the first time in ages we've had a safety car. I cannot remember the last time I've had a safety car in this career mode. That is, wow. Okay, that's been a long time. Okay, so lap 1 draws to a close under safety car conditions, which is something I didn't expect. So we didn't gain a place. We are still on the super softs. Ocon in front of us.
Some information on Stroll. They've got a serious car issue. It looks like they're retiring.
I was saying Ocon is the car in front of us. He's the lead super soft runner, so we need to get past him at least, and so our strategy works out best. Also, as you just heard, Stroll and Hartley were the 2 retirements, so that's what caused the safety car. But yeah, pretty much good news so far. Depends how long the safety car stays out for, but this might just change our strategy a bit to potentially doing a super soft, ultra soft, and that might be a possibility. I'm going to check the tyres, see what I have available, and no, I don't have a fresh ultra available, so that's going to go out the window, so forget about that. But yeah, let's get into the safety car period, and I'll get back to you once the safety car is coming in. Okay, the safety car's coming in. I'm just trying to get the last bit of temperature into my tyres for the restart. I think I've done enough here, so we're going to go into rich mix. We've got so much fuel saved up. We can go so aggressive with fuel this race. It's not even funny. Safety car about to come in. I'm just trying to get the last bit of temperature in my tyres as we get ready for the restart here. We're kind of stuck to the limit, and there we go. Safety car coming in. I'm going to try and be cheeky and get... Oh, I tried to go down the inside of Ocon there, but instead they just sped up at the wrong time, and I got caught out. Luckily though, we managed to push Magnussen wide and keep him behind us. So back underway then for the restart onto lap number 4. Let's see if we have pace. I think we should do. Just got to get the tyres up to temperature. They're a little bit cold still, as the pace under the safety car was quite slow, so there wasn't really enough speed to really burn up the tyres. But either way, let's try and get past Ocon first of all, as like I said, he's the lead super soft runner. We need to get past him, so let's get up to speed here and let's try and make these moves happen. Okay, then the pressure is starting to build here on Ocon as we're starting to close him down. I've got a lot of understeer in this car though, I can't lie, I'm not liking it. Very understeery, and I'm running the same setup I was using last season in the McLaren, so I'm surprised how understeery this feels. Hopefully the front wing change in the pit stop will help me out, but it's going to give me a lot more oversteer in terms of corner exits, but I can't have it all my way unfortunately. I'm still waiting for DRS, so until then it's going to be quite hard to pass Ocon. This is my best chance out of this chicane. We got a little bit loose there on the exit, which is not going to help. I'm going to get close. Ocon does go defensive slightly and compromises his line, but we're going to slip behind for now. I'm not going to rush into anything because, like I said, he's the first guy on the same strategy as me, so as long as we get ahead of Ocon, we're looking pretty good. No one ahead of us is really putting away that much, and the battle for fourth is still well alive. The only problem is though, that safety car might have just made those on the ultras commit to the one-stop strategy, so we might have to start making some moves soon. DRS is now enabled through turn 1. Let's see if I can try and get a good run. Maybe close up on Ocon. There we go. That's a good one. No corner cut or extension, no DRS, but I'm going to try and get it done. Just raw straight line speed alone. Down the inside, Ocon gives me the squeeze, but we're going to commit to it anyway and make the move. There we go, P11. Now with the lead super soft tyre runner, let's try and get some daylight between myself and Esteban and try and catch up to Verstappen. Oh, we've got a yellow flag behind. One of the Mercedes, I think it was, I just caught on the mini-map there, slowing down. We'll get confirmation of that in a moment's time. We've definitely got good pace though, we're already catching up to the train in front. Hopefully the front wing change holds my car because it doesn't feel good at the minute. I'm not enjoying how understeery the car is. Let's see who retired, and it's Lewis Hamilton. Oh wow, my former teammate out of the race.
Check your MFD for a new strategy option.
New strategy option, I guess we'll check that out now.
Copy.
We'll just stick with what we've got, thank you very much. Okay, strong pace. We've opened up a gap to Ocon now. He's fallen out of DRS as we set a personal best, and we're closing in on Verstappen's DRS just out of a second that time round. We should have it though come the end of this lap. There we go, DRS on Verstappen now in the back straight. Things are looking good, pace is looking solid, and these tyres are coming to me more and more as their ultra softs start to go off. Although once I get to dirty air, the understeer gets almost unbearable, but we should be okay to have more grip than these guys. The only thing is, I'm not convinced on the amount of straight line speed we have in this car. I don't think it's great. We're going to have to work on the engine quite a bit. Right then, so the chicane is my strongest point on the circuit. Can we get the run on Verstappen through here? Very smooth, a little bit of oversteer there, kicking out. I think Verstappen's going to have a run on Perez here before I get a run on Verstappen. There you go, I'm going to try and go for the switch back underneath. They're side by side. I'm just going to try and watch from a distance. A little bit of contact there, we're going to slip past. There we go. A little bit of mid-corner contact between Perez and Verstappen. That's going to give me the chance to go by, and look at that, they're pitting in. So ultra soft runners have had enough. Verstappen stays out, as you'd expect. We've got Alonso, and that's Van Dorn in front of us there. So he's staying out. That's the target. We want to catch up to Stoffel Van Dorn. We're coming in lap 12, so we've got a couple of laps here where we need to go nice and strong and really try and run the pace. So I'm going to keep it in rich mix these 2 laps and try and maximise these 2 more laps on these super softs. Now we've got the remaining ultra soft runners in the pit lane. That's the only problem with the safety car now. Everyone on the ultras is going for the one-stop strategy, so these laps are very important, and it's very important to maximise these. The personal best on my first one, still got 2 more to go, so we've still got plenty of time left in these tyres to try and improve as we pick up a track extension there. First one in the Grand Prix. I need to push. These laps are very important. I'm also relying on, them guys that came in potentially hold themselves up in the pit stop phase, and also traffic that are going long on the first in, like myself on the super softs. All those guys are going to have to get through all that traffic because there's not enough laps there for them to clear them, so they should all get caught up in traffic hopefully. Another strong lap there, only a tenth off my personal best, and this is now my scheduled pit stop lap, so let's have a strong in lap here and make this lap count. Right, here we go then. I'm on for a personal best. I've matched my best through the first 2 sectors, now into the pit lane. There we go, let's get it all slowed down for the 60. It's a very slow pit lane, this one. There we go, that's perfect. Really strong pit entry, very strong few laps. Let's see what happens. Good stop, nice quick stop. I've got level 2 pit stop efficiency, so 2.2 second stop. Lots of cars in the pit lane. We don't get held up at all, which is good. There goes Alonso. Here comes Van Dorn, the guy that I want to try and be in, and here comes the rest of the pack. So we've not overcut, but I tell you what, we've done a good job. We've put ourselves right in the race here. Into turn 1, we're going to rejoin pretty close to these guys. There's Sebastian Vettel, our teammate, up to speed. We've managed to overcut Ricciardo. We just need to try and stay in front here on this straight because he's going to have DRS. And I'm going to have cold tyres into the brake zone. Let's try and keep Ricciardo behind. We are now P7. Great overcut, getting past lots of traffic there. 3 very strong laps. Looks like Sebastian's got a move on as well. He's up to P6 now and he's on the cusp of making it P5. So all of a sudden we've come alive here. The Ferrari's looking much stronger as we go into the final stint. Now I've got to try and switch these soft tyres on and try and beat the guys around me. I was pretty much similar pace to them, if not slightly quicker on a slower tyre on the previous stint. So there's no reason why on the same tyre we can't be quicker. So here we go, 1.5 laps of fuel left to burn, which is perfect. So we've got plenty of fuel to attack with. Let's get to work. Oh, Vettel and Sainz going at it here. Out of turn 1, can we try and gain? Then we're going to overtake mode. Sebastian goes defensive. I'm going to commit to the inside though. Oh, this is close. Good racing though. Sebastian on the inside. I'm going to go all the way around the outside. Do we find the grip? Yes, we do. Yes, that's what I'm talking about right there. That's the move. Woo-hoo. Yes, that's more like it. That's racing right there. Right, P6. Let's get Carlos Sainz for P5 and let's try and solidify at least 10 points for the championship. I'm looking quick. I'm feeling quick. I knew I shouldn't have qualified so far down. Just couldn't get a lap together. I knew I had good pace. Let's try and confirm that. I've kind of fed Sebastian now to the wolves, to be honest, by overtaking like that. He's now got trouble as we pick up a second track extension, but we're now putting the pressure on Carlos Sainz here, so let's try and get this position. Good exit, very strong exit. He's just edged away. That Renault seems pretty good for straight line speed, but we are gaining here. We're going to go down the inside into turn 1. Very nice, and we're going to pick up the double DRS. There we go, P5 for us in this race. Sainz trying to come back at me there, but no way through. So P5, Van Dorn's just up the road. He's a few seconds away. We've got plenty of laps left yet, so could we catch Stoffel Van Dorn? I guess we'll find out very shortly, looking at some sector times. We've still got plenty of fuel to attack with, so the car can get a hell of a lot lighter than this and a lot quicker. So 6.9, let's try and get that gap down. Let's try and get P4. If not, then let's solidify P5. I'm only one extension / corner cut away from a penalty, so I've got to be careful, and I cannot be too overly aggressive, let's say. Right, personal best. Gap to Van Dorn down to 6.3. It's not coming down a hell of a lot, but there is enough. I think there's enough laps. If it comes down at that rate every single lap, we should have a chance, maybe. We match our personal best. Gap down to 5.7. So far, so good. Almost got another track extension there. Got very lucky through turn 1 to not pick one up. Another strong lap there. 0.2. Only a tenth off my PB. Ricardo behind me has actually got some strong pace. He's still keeping up with me here. He's got past Sainz and he's pretty quick himself. So forget Van Dorn. We need to keep the pace up to stay ahead of Ricardo. Seems to be in a bit of a charge here as I'm a little bit deep through turn 3 there, pushing the limit a little bit too much. We're still quicker than Van Dorn though. Let's try and keep our head down and chase after that McLaren P4. It's up for grabs and I want it badly. Oh, okay, Magnussen's out. Will there be a safety car VSC for that? Probably not. We've already had one safety car this race. Another strong lap. Very, very consistent laps here. 0.1. Gap now within 5 seconds to Van Dorn. We're making great progress, and I'm actually now finally starting to shake off Ricardo, who seems to have given up a little bit on the pursuit. Okay, I can see Van Dorn in my sights now. Personal best into the 120s. Oh, that's a bit wide. Got lucky there to not track extend. I think the reason I'm going faster and faster is because the car's getting lighter and lighter. I'm trying to burn off all of my fuel and basically save just enough for an overtake. I've just had to come off the pace a little bit. I need to save some ERS because I'm running pretty low and I want to try and recharge so I can go for one more attack. So I'm going to basically burn up the rest of the fuel, dare I say, go into the negative a little bit, and try and get as much battery as I can saved up. Okay, battery's charged up. We've now gone into the negative of fuel. I'm trying so hard here, but Van Dorn's just picked up the pace a little bit. Gap is 3.5. I want to try so hard now. 5 laps to go. We need to really get this gap down. Gap down to 3.1. I'm struggling now. The gap didn't actually come down on that last lap. It came down on the lap before from 3.4 to 3.1. I'm starting to run out of juice. Yeah, I mean, look at that. I've just pretty much matched my personal best. And the gap's only come down 1/10 on that lap. And that was me absolutely pushing to the limit. I think Van Dorn's got this covered, unfortunately. Gap inside 3 seconds. But I'm well into the negative of fuel now. I mean, the amount of laps left, 2 laps left exactly. I think we haven't got enough time, so I think I'm going to call it quits on the chase. I want to keep the pressure on, but I'm just going to go down to standard engine modes. Right then, into the final sector here. On the final lap, Charles Leclerc wins the race by setting a purple lap over the line of a 1:19.6, which is, compared to mine, you can see how much pace we need to make up, but it is doable, and I'm going to consider this race a big success. I think if we'd qualified better, we could have caused Van Dorn and Alonso a lot of problems because our pace was close to Alonso as well. There's still P5, 10 points in the opener. I'll take that, and hopefully we can build on that in the next few races. Obviously, Bahrain and Baku aren't great, but China is going to be the first big chance. I'm going to try and build towards that race in terms of upgrades.
And I have to wonder, Anthony Davidson, just what set them apart from the competition here.
Well, they played the safety car to absolute perfection. There are so many factors to worry about once the race is neutralised. I mean, do you pit for fresh rubber? Do you have the space behind you? How much fuel can you save? If you answer all of those questions correctly, you'll have a good chance. And that's exactly what happened today.
So, here they come out now onto the podium after a thrilling Grand Prix. It just goes to show what a strong position the sport is in, that these independent teams can be so competitive. What a superb victory from the Sauber team.
Did you struggle to get through all that traffic today? How does a new car compare to your last one? You're beating all expectations. Would you say we all underestimated you? think you were lucky not to end your race with that crash? Appreciate your time.
Right guys, so as you can see, these are the final race results, and we come home P5, confirmation as Leclerc and Ericsson take a 1-2 for Sauber, 3-4 from McLaren there with Alonso and Van Dorn, and to be honest, Alonso wasn't as fast as I thought he would be, and I think we could have actually challenged him had we qualified better, like I mentioned before. Ricciardo and Verstappen 6th and 7th, and kind of confirms Red Bull the third fastest team, and we just kind of got ourselves there in amongst it pretty much. Sainz, Perez and Hulkenberg ran off the points. My teammate Sebastian Vettel misses out on the top 10. I think he had some damage and lost a bit of ground in that race. Then we got Ocon, Gasly, Bottas, Grosjean, Sirotkin, Magnussen, and Hamilton, Hartley and Stroll running out the top 20, with the bottom 4 returning from the Grand Prix. Now, in terms of what the race means for the Drivers' Championship, obviously not much because it's only the first race, therefore it's the same as the race results. However, for the Constructors, as you'll see now, Sauber lead the way by 16 points with 43 on the board, and McLaren are comfortably second, Red Bull third, and we are sitting pretty in P4. Now, I'm not going to do any upgrades this race, guys, and I probably won't do in the next one. At the minute, I kind of said I want to look at China, but at the same time, the more I think about it, the more I'm planning, I might just prepare a bonkers upgrade package for Spain. Like, we're talking so many upgrades, because I need to study the R&D tree and kind of drink it in and see what I've got to do. So I'm probably going to do that, to be honest. I'm going to try and see where we can improve the car, and I'll get back to you in the next episode with an update in terms of what my plan is going forward. But at the minute, I can't lie, I'm leaning towards just a massive upgrade package for Spain, and maybe a couple of minor ones sprinkled in between. But we'll see how it goes, and hopefully we can make that all happen. But yeah guys, that is going to be it for this episode of Career Mode. If you did enjoy it, then please do drop a like on the video. Also get subscribed for daily Formula 1 content and turn on notifications to not miss a single video from me. Finally, check out these 2 videos on your screen if you have missed them. But other than that guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next episode very soon. But until then, it's goodbye from me.